First of all, the fact that you're here, thank you. Thank you to you, because can we be honest, like it really sucks to feel like a victim. It just doesn't feel good to even acknowledge it. We're gonna get into why that is today, but like if there's one thing worse than feeling like a victim or being trapped in the victim mindset, is being trapped in the victim mindset and not even knowing it, and just going in this perpetual loop of feeling stuck in this low vibration. And we've all been there, perhaps at some point in our life. We all know someone that's there. And the fact that you're here, I also want to highlight for you that you're not as deep into the victim mindset as you think you are. Because the first step of stepping out of victimhood is seeking solutions to step out of feeling like a victim. So yeah, just wanted to say that. Sorry if I look down, it's because I have my notes. In this video, we are going to walk through a very healthy way to step out of the victim mindset without gaslighting the shit out of us. This video will have a little bit of tough love, but not that much, because at the end of the day, I believe that sometimes you might need that. It'll be at the very end, but most of the time we just need to understand how to move through this, because there are a lot of negative emotions that come up with victimhood, and it's going to be very understandable why. Like negative emotions, I'm thinking like how many of us have felt pathetic for feeling like a victim, angry, disappointed, sad, heartbroken, like just, and maybe all of them at once. Like it's such a big cocktail of negative emotions that most of us don't know how to move through it. And the way society perceives victimhood with such a negative lens, it just really sometimes feels like we're backed into a corner. So let's get into it. Let's get into all this fun stuff. Before we get going, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Atena, and on this channel I teach you to love yourself unconditionally, and we manifest our greatest reality. So if that is something you're interested in, you should consider subscribing. And also, if you find this video interesting, I would really love for you to give me a thumbs up. Giving thumbs up to creators on YouTube really helps not only spread the message to other creatives, other humans, well, other creatives do, other humans, but it just helps them also like do better on their channel, and to share this message potentially also with someone who may also need to hear it and may also need to get that boost. Now that we got that out of the way, go, take it. Sorry about that. Husband came to get the dog. Our baby loves him more. I don't take it personally. If you see my other videos, you know all about my dog loving my husband more. I'm a victim of this. No, I'm just joking. This is not funny. That's not funny. Okay. All right, so let's just get into it. Why is there such a negative stigma on victimhood? And I took the time to Google the definition, and I highly suggest, by the way, every time you feel a resistance to something, to go ahead and Google it. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because, so I'm certified in hypnosis, I do a lot of coaching, and I do a lot of work with the subconscious mind. For you to just like grasp that there is so much subconscious dogmatic programming. Is that like a term that I made up? There's a lot of subconscious negative programming based on dogmatic thinking. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. Dogmatic thinking being like collective thinking that is just often doesn't even freaking serve us, right? So like when I Googled what does it mean to have a victim mentality, this is literally the definition that came up. When a person views themselves as a victim in various situations, even when there's evidence of it otherwise. And the signs of a victim mentality include blaming others, believing others cannot be trusted, and not taking responsibility for one's own actions. So when I look at these three criterias, does it make me feel good? Does it make you feel good? No. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just not a victim actually. Let me just go and look at the definition of victim. So the first definition that comes up on Google, and I mean, maybe it's subject to where I'm Googling from, but I shit you not, my friend. Okay, I'm gonna just read it off of here. The condition of having been hurt, damaged, or made to suffer, especially when one wants to others to feel sorry for them because it's an excuse for something. And the example that is given, I am not even making this up. These bloody terror attacks forged a bond of victimhood between the inhabitants of Paris and London. Can we just digest that? So there's been like an attack, literally, and people have been betrayed, they've been hurt, they've been made to suffer, and they want others to feel sorry for them. Okay, oh, okay. When I read this, I'm just like infuriated. And the thing is that it makes it almost impossible to like go through something really negative, to be hurt, to be betrayed, and to acknowledge that you can be a victim of something, and you can also choose through that victimhood to grow through the situation, to learn about forgiveness, to learn to extract wisdom, and to genuinely use the anger and the blame potentially that you have for different elements in society or someone else to make changes. Like make changes, because if we stay stuck in that paradigm of the global definition that's literally on google.com, the emotions that arise, it's like a cocktail again of feeling pathetic, inferior, and how are we supposed to trust like when all of this is happening, right? And it's basically a cocktail that it makes me personally want to press eject on myself and not even acknowledge the victimhood. Does that land with you? Does that make sense of why it feels so freaking awful to be defined as a victim when that's the way they see? I'm victimizing myself. I'm putting it outside of me. I'm taking responsibility here. But anyways, taking responsibility for how I perceive victimhood, and I hope you do too. And speaking of responsibility, one of the biggest problematics is within the definition of victimhood, it says the refusal to take responsibility for one's own actions. Now, in a very spiritual way, I believe we all are responsible in some way for some of the things that happen, but it's not okay to tell someone who has suffered from something exceptionally tragic, or like who is born into something tragic. Like I myself was born in a state of war. Like it was horrific what happened. And so I am a victim of that. Did I choose that? I spiritually believe potentially I did. But to come and say that to someone, especially if they don't have that belief, is not good. I don't know how else to put it. It's wrong. And it drags people lower and it beats them into a corner. I believe that if we treat it like that, and even by the way, if we go down the rabbit hole of the definition on Google of being a victim, they say you're an easy target, you were duped. All the way to being physically attacked and life threatened. So we have being scammed for $5 and being physically threatened, like all in one sentence of like what it means to be a victim. And all of this in combination of the victim mindset, refusing to take responsibility for one's own actions. I'm sighing at this because taking responsibility is a fundamental part of also living a successful, fulfilling life. And I believe that we need to extract this out of the entirety of victimhood mindset. To say that you can very much be a victim of something, to be a victim of a narcissist, to be a victim of someone who cheated on you, but you can choose to take responsibility for how you feel after. Doesn't that just make a lot more sense? Something can happen, or you can discover something. I'll use myself as an example. Recently, I found out that I have been suffering from this hormonal imbalance called PMDD. And PMDD has really had, like, I'm looking back and why the F did nobody ever talk to me about this? Because it was literally controlling my life. I'm almost in a weird way happy I only found out now, because I took so many drastic actions to change my state, to change my mood, to remove some of the very deep, dark thoughts that I experienced during these episodes. But at the end of the day, I did not feel good when I found out, in the sense that why has no one taught this in our education system? We have this whole intricate course on our menstrual cycle, which is actually such a flop now that I know more about it. I'm almost 40, which is crazy for me that I only found out about most of the stuff in my 30s. The blame is coming. Now, I believe at this point that I can take my responsibility of spreading the message, making choices to change my lifestyle. And so the thing that I want to really address here is that if we just take, like everyone who's watching this video, if we take a moment to take our own stance on what it means to be a victim. You can be a victim of the system, you can be a victim of different things, and to say, I was a victim of that, and I'm choosing to respond to it in a different way. I'm choosing to respond to it in a way, when I say different way, in a way that empowers me. But that doesn't mean that this has not sucked a lot. This has not been one of the most challenging experiences potentially of my life. And even when I think about being a child of war, for instance, I'll link a video where I talk about it. One of the things that got me to step out of the victimhood of that as like my birth situation was to tap into what they call the sacred rage. The sacred rage is saying, I'm not carrying the energy of this destructive force anymore within me, and I'm going to do my part in making the change and being the ripple effect of it. And that doesn't mean that that didn't happen, and that doesn't mean that that didn't suck, and that doesn't mean I can't blame other people for being trapped in their egos and for creating a mess around the world, or that I can't blame, for example, something happened with a narcissist in your relationship, that you can't blame the narcissist for what they did. Forgiveness is also coming in at this point, at least from my perspective, in the sense that forgiveness has never been about saying what someone else did is okay, or what society has done is okay, or what the system has failed to do is okay. Forgiveness is about accepting what has been and choosing to genuinely move on from it. But we can't move on unless we choose to grow. We can't move on unless we also at times take measures to protect ourselves. There are some people you should never trust after what they've done, ever. There are people you need to put really big boundaries because they have hurt you multiple times. I'm literally going no contact with some members in my family because they have hurt me time and time and time again. So I'm a victim of that pain, but at the same time, now I've reached this point where you know what, I love you, but that doesn't mean you get to have access to me, and that I'm going to continue to be a victim of what you are putting on me. Is this landing? Like, am I making sense to you? Please drop a comment below, put a couple hearts, like let me know, because I'm very passionate about this. If you haven't been able to say, if you haven't been able to like notice. Okay, so let's get into the funner part. How do we bounce out of this victimhood? So part of it is, like just kind of hinted, is also learning about forgiveness. I'm gonna link a video where I talk a little deeper about forgiveness, because I think it's one that is, forgiveness is misunderstood, and a lot of times we try to forgive too quickly when we're not ready. So never force yourself to forgive. It might take you a while, okay? Like this is where the gaslighting comes. You gotta forgive, you gotta move on, and like maybe you're just not ready yet. You need time to process all of these emotions, right? So tangibly, sometimes you just need to move your body. You need to just move the energy. A lot of times when we're a victim of something, the energy stays trapped inside the body. So learning some somatic therapies. I love EFT tapping. So I tap. When I first was really getting into releasing victimhood, I actually bought a secondhand boxing thing at home, and I would box. I would kick. I was like, just letting the emotions out in a safe space, in a safe way, is an essential part of snapping out of it. Maybe sometimes it's just going for a run. It depends again. Like maybe it's like if you got scammed out of $5 is very different than being a victim of like a lifelong with a narcissist, right? Like let's just have a gauge, okay? I'll let you decide on that. Drop in the comments below what are some of your favorite ways to move your body to get different emotions out of you, right? When we're feeling a little low, I feel like tapping maybe helps a little more than when we're super, super angry, for instance. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing that I feel really helps is this thing called word seeding. Word seeding is a writing technique that really allows you to dump out your thoughts in a very concise way. And what you want to do with word seeding is saying, for once, I want to tell the truth about feeling like a victim, or being a victim in this situation, and you want to just go ham, bitch. You want to say it all. You want to have zero filters. And I recommend you do this on a computer, but you can also do it on a paper and pen. You want to write as fast as you can. You want to write nonstop, and you want to be unapologetic AF about everything that comes out. It is literally like, I don't like this term, but it's literally like word vomit. And if, as you're word seeding, if you notice that you're staying stuck, let's say you get to a place where I don't know what to write next, I'm not sure, write this. I'm not sure, I'm not sure, I'm not sure, I'm not sure. And the next thought is gonna come because your subconscious mind doesn't like to go in loops. And how long should you do work seating? You could do it for 5, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. You could do it every single day for 5 minutes in the morning for a whole month. It's a very creative way to also just get this out of you. I actually discovered this in a creative writing class. I found it so healing when the teacher said, you know, this is gonna help you, this is help people heal like trauma and stuff. I was, okay, you're like over promising, but whatever. I tried it and I was like, oh my God, this is working. Okay, number 3, this may not be for everyone, but I really hope it is, because this has probably for me been the biggest game changer, and that is building a relationship with your spirituality, with the divine, with God, however you desire to go through it. For me, it's God. You know, there was a time where it was the universe, but it's actually been, I've been praying to God, I've been praying to my angels, and I used universal energy flows to support me as well. There's a video that was created just last week for you guys where I talk about how to snap out of a mental block in terms of mindset when you want to manifest stuff. And one of the sentences really applies here is to say, God, angels, universe, I'm willing to see things differently. I'm willing to see things differently from what I've experienced as a victim. And the way that I find this really helps is finding your hero narrative out of it. How can you choose to extract wisdom out of this? And how can you give yourself the permission to come out of this alive, out of this stronger than ever? I find that the people who bounce out of victimhood faster isn't even the word, but with more sense of purpose or sense of inner peace. You know what, I'm gonna use the word inner peace, is when they actually find something to extract out of it. Part of healing is being, hey, this has happened to me, this is on my life path, you know, how can I choose to make the best out of this? Or make the best can sometimes be very condescending, in the sense, if you told me make the best out of the fact that you were born in a war, it's like, I don't know. But you can at the same time say, like for me, being a child of war, my mission on this earth is to embrace unconditional love and be a bridge for other people for that. And quite literally, that experience has taught me the massive polarity in this world, and I'm still standing here today preaching unconditional love to the self, preaching inner peace, preaching that we find ways to get along with each other. Could have very easily gone down the other road, especially with all the shit that kind of birth trauma causes a person. It's very easy to go down. This is where you can say, I'm falling trap of the victimhood. You have to make a decision at some point to say, hey, I was a victim of that, and at the same time, I'm choosing to make something better out of this. For me, for society, it has to start with you. First, that's my personal opinion, it has to start with you. Then it has to do with everyone around you, being that positive, powerful ripple effect. So if you're not sure how that is for you, like give it some time, keep doing the word seeding. God, angels, universe, help me shift my perspective. Like I literally sat down in meditation the other day and God reminded me, like he's reminded me many times that I need to focus on my body more and more. And this was kind of like, I felt like was like the last slap in the face. If you didn't know and you wanted to ignore it, you really can't now, because your hormones are imbalanced and you need to change that, right? Another thing that you can do is being really clear on your focus of life. So it's a lot easier to bounce out of victimhood when, again, like I just mentioned, having a purpose through like what happened, but who do you actually want to be? So I'm just gonna take this was my tripod. Inside this journal, Step into the Chrysalis, one of the things that we do first couple of chapters is literally write out our life manifesto. So how do you want to be remembered on your deathbed? And I know that sounds morbid, but I highly recommend everyone does this. How do I want to be remembered? And to do this activity like a couple of times, like this is a 3-month journal. So in the sense, like every 3 months to write down, okay, well, how do I want to be remembered? And as you write this, like writing, well, what are some of the actions I want to take in the foreseeable future to manifest my dream reality? And as I write this, what are the stories in my head? So we go through 4 stories, and I just want to share how important that is. Hero hero narrative embodiment. So what are the stories that I am, like what will I gain from living out this story? What will I lose from not living out the story? What are the stories that I gotta let go? So if like something in my victimhood mindset is there, I gotta let it go, I gotta release it. And what are the new stories I want to embody? And at the same time, this part is, I call it permission activation. To give yourself the permission to unapologetically step into your higher self, step into your best self, and to do what you need to do to heal, to get back to yourself, and to have a point of focus that's going to allow you on the days that you feel low to find compassion for yourself. And it's okay sometimes to just like crawl into bed, and maybe there's a week you just want to watch Netflix and chill. You're blessed that you can do that, by the way, right? And okay, and now I'm gonna get up, and where am I going? We always need that direction. Okay, I also wanted to say that one of the reasons why this journal is really amazing is that you write your intention and focus of the day to like keep you moving forward. And here, this one, seen, heard, loved. When you're not seen, heard, and loved by yourself, it's really hard to snap out of any emotion because you don't recognize it. You just can't snap out of it. You need to see, hear, and love yourself. And that is probably the only sane, healthy way to snap out of any type of victimhood. Just saying. And another action that we can take, I mean, this isn't an action more so that it's a mindset, I kind of just hinted to it, it's choosing to focus also on what we're grateful for. And one technique that one of my friends shared with me, who's a vision board expert, she's like, if you literally can't think of what you can be grateful for, if you woke up tomorrow with nothing, and when I say nothing, I mean nothing but your consciousness, what would you miss? Like, everything. Suddenly I have a list of 50 things. Write that list, connect with that list. All right. Now, if you're still here and you're still like, this is where my tough love is coming in, bitch. You gotta move, baby. You gotta move. The worst thing you can do is watch this video and stand still. Just go get yourself some low-fat yogurt or something. Like, this is random, but it's coming in. Do not combine junk food or reward food or food to make yourself feel better. Like, at least try to avoid it as much as possible, because it wires in your brain like, oh, when I feel bad, I get to have a chocolate chip cookie. Oh, when I feel bad, I get to have like 3 large pizzas. Can anyone eat 3 large pizzas? I don't know. My husband could probably do it. Like, sometimes we get 4 pizzas and like I'll have 1 and then they'll all be gone. I'm like, bro. Anyway, like, just get the F up, okay? What am I gonna do, Atena? Go brush your teeth, go take a shower, go drink a tall glass of cold water. You know what? I'm gonna link a playlist below on Spotify. Put that playlist on, it's gonna be all high vibe songs, and go for a walk. Go for a drive, sing like at the top of your lungs. Come back, buy the journal, step into the chrysalis, start writing out your life manifesto, and get yourself moving, okay? That's as tough as I'm gonna get with you today. That wasn't such tough love. I would still love tough love, okay? All right, till the next video, I love you so much. Make sure that you click the like button, you subscribe, and you share this with a soul friend. Also, click that bell icon, by the way, because I don't have an uploading schedule. I just upload when it inspires me, and it's like about at least once a week, but it could be twice a week, it could be more. So click that bell icon so that you know exactly when I'm posting the next video. And until next time, I'm sending you so much love. Bye.